want to review our trip to Valencia. We stayed for 5 days. We didn't know how much time we would need. So we stayed for 5 days. What is there to do in 5 days? You could fill your 5 days. We filled our days. If you were going to do what we did, we didn't really go, we went to the beach once, but we were just looking at really just getting to know the city culturally, maybe doing one excursion to do something special, but mainly you just want to taste the food, see a bit of the culture. 3 days
is enough.
It's enough.
Yeah, it's enough. Yeah, and also because we walked everywhere, like that took longer to be in other places, but yeah, if you go by the tram or the bus, you can do it in 3 days for sure. Yeah.
So let's get to what did we do and what do we recommend at least to try out in Valencia?
Yes.
Okay.
We did a free tour of the city, of the old town. It was beautiful. It was almost like 6 hour tour, I think, like half a day.
6 hours.
6 hours.
I remember we walked a lot, but I remember it was fun. We saw a lot of things, and this was towards the end, so we had already explored the city ourselves for a good part, and the tour still revealed stuff that was new to us.
Yeah.
So we still enjoyed it. There is an old market money exchange with beautiful architecture inside. It's not used anymore for that, but I think it's free to get in and it's worth the pictures in there. In the medieval part of the city, there's also a kind of hipster, artsy vibe with lots of cool cafes. We didn't spend that much time on that part of the city, but you can definitely tell all the influences from the narrow streets and the architecture left over from all the different conquests and changes that the city had done. I think one of the biggest landmarks in the city, apart from the cathedral, we'll get to that, is the city gate. So the old city had a wall, like many European old cities, and there is one of the city gates that still remains, and you can go up it.
Yeah, like for really cheap. I think it was like for less than €5. You can enter it, and you got the amazing views over there. You can take a lot of pictures. It's amazing.
A little scary. There's not a lot of railings.
Yeah.
But the stairs are wide.
Yeah, the stairs are wide.
Yeah, there's big, huge architecture. From there you get a view of the rooftops. You get a view over the old river. We'll talk about that in a second. So we recommend going up the old gate. It's cheap enough that I think it merits the views.
Yeah, sure.
Now, this river, old river. So Valencia, like most towns in Europe, developed around a river. Nowadays, that river is totally dry. The river's been diverted by some public works. We found out later. The river, the old causeway of the river, hasn't gone to waste. Now, they haven't developed it into housing. What they have done is basically, instead of having a strip of blue through the city, they have a strip of green. They have this huge, long park which you can cycle and walk, and it's totally unperturbed by cars because they're all going through the bridges as they were over the river. So this is a really cool design of the city, which I think this feature of the city makes it really stand out for me as a city. You know, to take this old river and use it for something really cool for everybody. On one end of the river, you have the zoo, and we did not go to there.
No.
We didn't want to spend that much money, but we ended up going to the attractions on the other side of the river, which is the science park. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, this is comprises of the largest aquarium in Europe. There is also an IMAX theater where they do shows, and they have a science museum. I mean, first of all, let's just talk about the architecture, because it's amazing.
It's really nice.
It's this gigantic cathedral of, I don't know, it looks like shellfish, it looks like shells, it looks like Yeah, it's a very strange thing, but
very
it looks
modern.
Very modern. Yes, it's like it's got a lot of ocean vibes. The architecture, you kind of don't know if it's like shaped like a fish, like a manta ray, but it's gorgeous. And there's fountains as well, and it's got a lot of pictures there. You can get, it's not super cheap. I think the entry to one of these things is like 30 euros, but you can get a pack to get into all of them for like 40 something euros. We did not do that. We chose just to go to the oceanographic, which is the aquarium, but we did go and walk through the lobby of the science museum and stuff. Took pictures there. It was really lovely from the inside as well. Now, oceanographic, beautiful. Dolphins, whales, sharks, really birds. Nice. Yeah. It is the biggest one in Europe. If you have kids,
it's amazing.
They will enjoy it.
Like Valencia is a really, really nice place for kids.
Yeah, family friendly for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if they are into like science and stuff, like or into animals and yes.
Yeah, it's true. We definitely enjoyed it. We had a really good time. We did make a mistake, so we were getting used to the fact that in Spain everything runs until very late. All the bars are open quite late, and so we had a lazy day that day, and we basically ended up going to the oceanographic after midday, and we bought our full price ticket, and we thought we had until really late in the evening. Turns out they turned the lights off for the fishes relatively early. So don't get caught out like we did, because we didn't get to see the sharks.
Yeah,
we got to see the dolphins.
Yeah, we were in like for 2 hours.
Yes.
But
moving slowly. And
relaxed. we were really relaxed, and we just.
We stopped for a beer.
Yeah, we stopped for a beer because we were really tired, because we went from the city center to that place walking.
That's the place that's closer to the beach, and we tried to walk it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. It was a lazy day, and it was amazing. The 2 hours that we were in was amazing.
But it's bigger than 2 hours. You need more time.
You need more time, and just go early.
I'll go back. I'll see the sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that, and then I think also kid friendly. So one of my friends who was visiting, they have a young child, and in the middle of this causeway, this park, there is a giant play center in the shape of Gulliver, if you're old enough to know what that is. So Gulliver's Travels, you can basically walk around this giant man who's been tied to the ground, as in the books, and there's all sorts of, everything's like a slide. You can slide through all his clothes and all these things, and lots of kids playing there, adults also taking the chance to go on the big slides. So that's kind of cool, weird, but cool, and totally free to get into. So another thing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
The final thing that happened while we were there, unexpected because we are terrible at planning, was that we happened to land in the same weekend in May as the weekend of their patron saint. Once a year they take the Virgin from the cathedral and they do a large procession with drums and priests and incense and candles.
And costumes, really beautiful costumes.
Yeah, they close down streets and there's a big parade going through the streets.
It was a bit of a shock, but it was beautiful. Like,
it's culture.
It's really cultural, and the people are really devoted. And we were like, at the beginning, we were like, what's happening? And then we just looked it up on our phones.
Yeah. And there are big crowds. The residents are into it. People come, pilgrims from other places. The town gets really filled up with people. The cathedral gets packed, and this is like an entire weekend thing. The procession is only on one evening, but you have the entire weekend is kind of around this event and preparing for it. And it was something unexpected, but a total plus in our cultural enrichment of Valencia, and how much the Catholic Church there really is established and plays a big role. So definitely one to enjoy if you are thinking of going in May. Yes, go for the right weekend. Impressions of Valencia for us, positive. We went on a budget, desperate to see the world, to see something new. It did not let us down.
No, not at all. The food is amazing and the weather is amazing. Yes, it's amazing.
Child-friendly city.
Yes, for sure. And maybe if you go later on, like you mean in June instead of May, you get more beach. So yeah.
Maybe try that.
Yes.
Yeah. But Valencia, great place. We encourage you to go, have fun, stay safe, enjoy. See you guys. Bye.